This is Sports Drive.
Welcome back to Sports Drive once again. I'm your host, Preston Moore. I mentioned earlier in the show, the West Texas A&M Buffalo baseball team sadly met the end of their season this past weekend against the defending national champions, Angelo State. Today, there was a press conference out at West Texas A&M. Head coach Matt Vanderburg from the baseball team spoke to the media about the season as a whole, looked ahead a little bit into next year as well. We're going to roll that footage for you right now.
Still a great season.
Yeah, it really was. Obviously, you never like to end the year and have the exit meetings and do all that kind of stuff, but proud of the way our team played all year long, especially coming off a subpar year for us in 23 to the year that we had this year. I mean, we lost so much off the 23 team, a couple All-Americans, all that kind of stuff, that we had to replace pretty much everybody on the offensive side of things besides a few pieces. And really loved what we had this year. I thought we competed, did a really good job there, and there's a lot of positives still to come. I mean, this team, pretty much the entire team, especially offensively, comes back next year, and I think we were one of the top offensive teams in the country all year long, and as long as guys decide to come back, that every one of our starters will return. And, on the pitching side of things, I think we got some really good pieces back. I mean, obviously we lose some really good arms, Reese Millers, Marshalls, the Hoaglands, and Capertons. I mean, lose some really good seniors on the pitching side of things, but, we'll sign some really good arms to replace those guys. And what we do have coming back on the pitching side of things, I mean, it could be a special group of guys again next year. But proud of what this group did, especially our seniors. I just met with our seniors before I came over here, and just a phenomenal group of guys. They're going to be great husbands, great fathers, so really proud of that group.
What was your message to the team afterwards in the dugout?
Just how proud I was. You go back to days are all confused right now, but I think it was Thursday, the opening day of it. We lose a tough game against Angelo State, just a really good baseball game. We're up late going into that game, and they're All-American hits a really good pitch out, and they take the lead. And then, we have a chance in the last inning, the ninth inning, and we hit a ball really hard. That's a tough ball to read, and they catch it and get a triple play. I've never had a game end on a triple play, but just even in that game, I mean, we had bases loaded, nobody out, down by 3. We're marching, we're competing in that, and then, bad break happens, and it is what it is, but then we come back and win a game against a really good Mesa team on their field. I mean, Reese throws a phenomenal game and win a really close ball game 4-2. It just, they just refused to quit all year long. And then, obviously things just didn't go our way on Saturday, and just, against a really good Angelo State team. I mean, there's a reason why they won the national championship last year. It was a tough draw for us to having them and Mesa up there. I mean, it was a tough regional. We knew it was going to be, and I'm excited to see that super regional between them and Lubbock. I mean, just some really good teams in this region. Just proud to be a part of this group, and proud to be the head coach here at WT and this group of guys.
You said you just talked to the seniors. What does this group of seniors particularly mean to you?
Listen, I say it every year. I mean, the culture here at WT is so awesome. It really is, that every guy that comes through our program and sticks it out, they're just going to be, like I said earlier, great fathers, great parents, great workers. I mean, I told them, listen, I'll help you get jobs, do whatever, because they're just great humans. They've been a pleasure to be around. They work hard every day. I mean, we expect a lot out of our guys on and off the field, and this group of guys have done that all year long, and just so proud of them.
With so many offensive players returning, what are some of the positives that you saw this year that you want to build on next year?
I thought we got a lot better on the base path, being able to win games a different way than what we're accustomed to. It kind of reminded me of the 21 season that we had such success on the base path and bunting and hitting and running and stuff like that. I felt like we took one step to being great in that avenue of the game, and I think that next year, once we even get better at it and put some different pieces in place, we can still get a little bit more athletic in some certain areas and everything. We're only going to be tougher to handle on the offensive side of things, and I feel like, man, we have a chance to be really special offensively next year, and a team that not just about hitting, about stealing bases and just being really tough outs. That's the one thing. The negative about this year is we struck out way too many times. We've got to get better at that, and that's something as a coaching staff that we've got to figure out different ways that we can put the ball in play with 2 strikes, not be as scared to strike out, and just find ways to execute a little bit better. But I think it's all in place for us to be really successful next year.
You mentioned the great offense coming back, but on the pitching side, you all there's just a great arm here with Nick and Reese.
Yeah.
How difficult is it to replace somebody of that caliber?
Difficult, no doubt about it. But, I feel like Coach Neal, Coach Hall, and myself have done that, proven that we can do that year after year. I mean, I get asked that question all the time. How do you replace a Dylan James? How do you replace an Austin Moore, Marshall Kozowski, Joe Corbett? And it just, when you've got a great program and the great things that WT has here, it sells itself. I think that we'll go out and get some top arms. We've always had, well, not always, but the last 10 or so years, we've had some of the best arms in the country at Division II, and we're going to continue to have those guys. But then I expect guys to even get better next year. I mean, Douglas Rojas had a really good year. Matt Milner, Max Langford, all those guys. I mean, we've got a lot of pieces back. Just velocity after velocity back for next year. If we add 3 or 4 pieces to that, this pitching staff should be, again, one of the top pitching staffs in the country.
What are the first steps of the offseason look like for you?
Oh, well, spend some time with my wife and kids right now, the next couple days, but we're going to hit it hard recruiting. It never stops. The recruiting part of things never stop. I mean, we're going to do all the exit meetings today, find out, with the transfer portal, it's just such a different animal these days. I mean, I'm telling you guys right now, that we've got all of our offense, all that kind of stuff back, but that could change this afternoon. It hasn't affected us the last few years because I think, again, that culture that we talk about here, I mean, guys want to be a part of a winning culture. We have that here. We're one of the top Division IIs in the country, and these guys have a chance to compete for championships, and most kids that are competitive want that. So I hope we don't lose anybody to the transfer portal, but it could happen. We'll see. But we'll evaluate after today or tomorrow where we're at, exactly our needs for next year, and put together a team that's going to compete for championships.